Hey everybody, Easter is coming up and we gotta be prepared with this little, hey, can you see what it is? Whee! Yippa! Easter bunny! Yes, this cute little Easter bunny also doubles up as a mint dispenser. I'll just take two. Okay. Yeah, nice. Thank you, Easter bunny. Down you go. Let me show you what you'll need in order to make it. Just gonna remove these mints. Okay, you're gonna need a toilet roll. Two? Yeah. Why not two toilet rolls? And they fit into each other like this, you see? So, toilet rolls comes in all kinds of shapes and sizes. And keep searching, keep collecting until you find two that fit into each other like this. It's not that hard actually. Now, once you have those, you'll need a piece of cardboard, a little piece of cardboard, a small piece of paper, and it's going to be a little bit stiff. Like this. And you're going to need some paints, brushes, paper cutter, paper knife, a pencil, maybe a pair of scissors. What else? Glue, ruler, and yeah, I think that's about it. Okay, come on closer and let's get started. We start with the toilet rolls, and we're gonna start with cutting the biggest one, about 1 cm from the top. So you measure about 1 cm, or perhaps a little bit more, 1.2, perhaps a 1.1, about there. And then I have invented this little tool to help us with this particular craft. Look at this. I took a toilet roll and I cut it straight down so that when we wrap this around the other one and we put it onto the mark that we just made there, you see, now this serves as a ruler to get the line straight all around the roll, like that, you see, because now we have a very good guide for where to do the cutting. Now when you cut, be very careful, keep your fingers far away from the knife, cut like this, nice and easy. In fact, if you put this one inside here, you get some support so that it's easier to cut and you don't squeeze this one too much. So put this in about this much, not all the way in, and then you cut. Now, cut nice and light. Don't try to cut all the way through in one go. Do the round several times, and eventually the cardboard gives away and you have your cardboard ring. So take it easy, be patient, keep your fingers away, and everything will be fine. Now, you may want to get help from an adult to do this. It's always good to use adults if you're not comfortable with cutting yourself. There, okay, so we have a perfect cardboard ring from the biggest toilet roll. Okay, now, next step is to take the little cardboard sheet, and we're gonna have one circle for the small one. That was quite ugly actually. I think I'll do that again. Sometimes, you know, these rolls can be a bit wobbly, so try to squeeze it so that it's you know, it forms a nice circle. Squeeze it back into shape, and then let's do it again. So there, oh yeah, that's much nicer. One for the small one, and then same thing for the big one. Then we cut them out. Again, cut always away from where your fingers are. So notice now that I'm cutting a direction away from my fingers. And keep turning your cardboard sheet like this so that you always do the same movement. See, I'm just cutting around like that, and then I stop, and then I turn, and then I cut again. That way you will always control how you cut really well. Okay, so that's the first one. Second one. No, I cut the wrong one. Okay, I gotta cut again. Sorry, I'm gonna put this over here. Let me cut the right one this time. Yeah, now I got the right one. Get the glue out. I'm squeezing a little bit of finger on my, no, squeezing a little bit of glue on my finger. Then I lay it on like this. Okay, so glue there, and then pop it. Oh, fits very, oops, fits very, very nicely. Okay, so you squeeze it on there. Okay, press down there. That's for the big roll. Now for the small roll, same thing. Pop on the circle. Wipe the excess glue off. Wipe my hands. So now I'm going to bring in this one that is already dry. But as you can see, it's the same thing. I have now 3 pieces. I have the thin one with the lid at the end, the thicker one with the lid at the end, and the thicker one is slightly shorter because I cut off this ring. So these are the 3 parts that you need. So see how they fit inside each other. See here now, like that, and then this goes on top. Now that's what you need before you start cutting and painting. Before we get into any painting, let's fine adjust these gluing edges. You see here, there's a little edge sticking out there. Now I advise that you cut them off so that you get a smooth edge. So you hold like this and you keep slowly just cut like this, nice and slowly. Make sure the blade is a bit long so that you can get this sort of real cutting movement. A bit like cutting bread, you know, slice of bread. And always cut away from where you're holding your fingers. Right, nice and smooth edge. Look at that. Brush away the dust, and let's do the other one. There. Finished, and now we are ready to cut the bunny's mouth. Now first we got to draw it. So we measure about 3.3 cm. Now this is just a rough estimate. I mean, you know, your toilet roll may be a bit different from mine, so that's just an estimate. Okay, so now make a happy mouth about this big. Going up a bit into a smile. Not too big, just enough for the mints to come out. Now in the middle, make a shape like this. Divide it in 2. Now that's the bunny teeth. Okay, now we are ready to cut that out. And to do that, remember this little tool here. Now if you go like this and put it inside, it will support this bit when you cut, so that this doesn't get the side here doesn't get squashed when you press your knife against it. Now you can use a big knife like this, or you can use smaller knives like this. So you see I have two sizes. So for the small cutting it's easier to use this knife and take it nice and slowly. See, I'm cutting nice and slowly. I don't rush into anything because I know that I'm going to cut several times before I go all the way through. So cut like this. Keep turning your toilet roll and move the blade away from you, away from your fingers. Cutting on top. Then I cut down the side here, this side. Cutting around the teeth. A little bit more cutting now. And we should be able to pop it out. Whoa, yeah! Popping that out. Then we take out this roll. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Okay, so we have a nice bunny mouth. Okay, we need to add the ears. So we take the piece of paper and we make a shape like this, a sort of an oval shape, and then we go one straight line, two straight line. So that's our ears. Let's round this off a bit more. Yeah, that's our ears. We cut that out too. Hey, got one. Got two. See? Now, the reason for this shape, this way and that way, is that when you make your gluing lug and you put this on, it's meant to not be any longer than the diameter of the circle, you see? Because then you can fold your ears down so that it's all flat if you want to. Okay, let's stick them on. Bit of glue. Bit of glue. Wipe my fingers. Stick this on. Now just double check that you can fold them down. Oops. That you can fold them down and they fit inside. Yeah, they do. Yeah, very good. Now they need to dry for a little while. In the meantime, let's get painting. So we'll paint these two. The big one is going to be white. Quite a big brush. And we paint the whole thing white. I'm using acrylic paints. They are water soluble when they're wet, and then they're totally waterproof when they are dry. So they're very convenient, they don't smell, they're non-toxic, they're really good paints. Notice how I hold the roll. It's quite good to avoid getting fingers on your getting paint on your fingers, although I still get some paint on my fingers when I paint. Anyhow, I try to avoid it as much as possible. There. Now the first layer needs to dry, and then you paint another layer. And when you've done that, you'll end up with one like this that is totally nice and white. So I'm going to put this in. Then let's paint the bunny herself. Gray all over. Now make sure that before you start painting that the ears are reasonably dry so they don't drop off. So you paint basically everything except for the teeth. Also make sure that you paint a little bit inside on the edge here. You know, let the edges soak up the paint a bit. That'll make them stronger and neater and generally look better. Like that. Okay, on top here and on both sides of the ears. Now when this layer is dry, you may want to paint two layers to make it absolutely nice and even, and you will end up with a nice bunny looking like this, without eyes but got teeth. Okay, so I'm going to swap this in now. Check these out. You see now? Let's see if they fit. Oh yeah, whoop, 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 whoop. And of course this this headband on top there. Let's paint this one next. It's gonna be pink. I'll use a smaller brush, and we need to paint this outside as well as inside to make it really nice looking. So paint one side at a time. See, first you paint the outside like this, and then make sure you paint the edges. Let the edges soak up the paint. That will also make the band stronger, not only more beautiful but also stronger. Then we paint the inside, and as always you let the first coat dry, and then you do a second coat if you need to. Usually you need to make it look really nice and even. Now let me show you one that is already painted. Looks like this. Let's clear away the paint, and now we need to get into the details. So we got to paint on the eyes. For that we need a small brush and a bit of white paint. One circle, two circles. Notice that I support the bunny on the table as well as my hands. That is to make my hands more stable and sturdy, so I don't make a mistake here. Okay, let's do the teeth at the same time. Nice and white. And the edges. There, also in the ears. Now this needs to dry, and then I will do it one more time to get a nice even color. Now it's dry, and I'm getting my dark gray paint out, because we are continuing with a darker ring around one of the eyes. That is to kind of bring out the contrast, you know, the contrast between the light gray and the white. Generally, a strong contrast makes things look good. That's your general rule when you paint. And I'm using a really small brush for this precision work. This is great exercise for your motoric skills and muscles in your entire upper body. Now you can make this ring as thick as you like or as thin as you like. I think that's quite nice. And then little details like the pupils. And a little line to separate the two teeth. There. Finally, we need a nose, and for that we use pink. What we need now is I make sure that I have a lot of paint on the tip of the brush, and then I just make one well-placed dot. Take a bit more paint. You need quite a nice dollop of paint to make a nice dot there in the middle. Yes, goody. And as usual, this now needs to dry, so let's paint the white one in the meantime. So we turn it so that this hole faces up, and the lid is down. We continue with the same pink as we used for the nose. Painting a ring about this thick, about 1 cm thick, all across the tube. There. And then a little arm is coming down like this. There. Make sure you paint the edge as well. And then I scrape off the excess paint with my finger, just like that. Okay, now it needs to dry. Then I get my pink out and I mix the special pink right here. Slightly sharper pink on this one. Then I do the stripes. Done. Now let's do the little details with a very fine brush. I'm talking these little things, whatever they are called, at the end of the scarf. Ooh, nice. Then we're gonna do the zipper. Let's wipe off the pink paint. And then I'm gonna get my light gray paint out. This is the same paint, same color as I used for the bunny herself. Okay, I'm gonna make a zipper. Zigzag all the way down. And perhaps a little line around the edge of the jacket. The edge doesn't have to be so straight, it can be a bit wobbly, that's just nice. And have about a little pocket as well. Pocket on the jacket, yeah. And a little button. Jolly nice. Now, everything needs to dry before we do the final adjustment of the bunny. Okay, this is going to be exciting. Let's see how the bunny fit into the jacket. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Yeah, very good, very good. Oh, glides up and down quite nicely. Let's adjust the teeth so that they don't stick out. Right. Now, one thing is that, see, now it's dropping down, but it needs to stay up there. It needs to have some friction. So for that, we need some tape. You see, any type of tape you can use to, you see down here with the hole, you can put a little bit of tape to thicken up this bit. Add it on just along the lower edge here. You can do it bit by bit. So let's just try this and see. Okay, so I add that down here, and then let's try. Yeah, you see now there's more friction, so now it stays there, you see. You can go like this, you can go like this. Let's add a little bit more. Just right so that it stays wherever you put it and it doesn't fall down, but at the same time it shouldn't be too tight. Let's try again. Yeah, all the way down. There. And then okay, now let's see if the headband fits. Yeah, good. Very good. Just nice. You see, this one you can adjust as well. So if you want to, you can add some tape inside here as well. Now, but this one fits pretty good, so I think I'm going to just leave it. If you like to, you can cut a little shape up here to make it more like the kind of the jacket opening, like I have done on my original one. But it's up to you. You can make the cut, or you can just keep it like that. Now, one thing you may notice is that my original is nice and glossy. Can you see that? It's nice and shiny and glossy, while this one is a bit matte. That's because I have added a lacquer to this one. Now, lacquer protects the paint, it protects the surface, making it easier, you know, to wash and wipe and generally stay cleaner. And also it brings out the colors. Can you see that? That this is a bit, these colors are a bit dull, and this is a bit, you know, bright and shiny. So I quite recommend that you put on a coat of lacquer. So lacquer comes in different forms, but you can easily use the same type of lacquer as they use for acrylic paintings. So I'm getting a nice clean brush. It needs to be totally clean, and then the band off, and then just giving it a nice generous coat of lacquer. You can lacquer the tape as well, that's no problem. Even the ears on both sides. Now, when this dries, it turns totally transparent. It changes the appearance on the figure just for a short while. Then after that, it goes transparent. Like that. And then same thing on the jacket. And then you will end up with a nice glossy rabbit. You take this, okay, hang on a second. So you get your mints, you pour them in here, like that. In it goes into the jacket. Headband on. She's a bit shy. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah. And then have some mints, and in they go. Thank you very much, cute Easter Bunny. Bye. Okay, everybody. Happy Easter. See you later.